Hello, guys. Good morning. Welcome to our stock market update for Friday, June 23rd. This is George Papsov from Trade Pro Academy. I want to take you guys through an update of one big event that's happening today that's going to cause a lot of volatility in the markets. It's a rebalance, so we'll talk about that in a minute. First, today's markets in Asia, Japan's up 0.1%, Hong Kong is flat, China's up 0.3%, India down 0.5%. So Europe, London's down 0.5%, Paris is down 0.6%, Frankfurt's down 0.7%. So the European market ended up carrying on some more bearish sentiment tone, more flat. At the top of the hour for U.S. equities, Dow's down 0.2%, S&P's flat, Nasdaq's down 0.2% as well. Crude's up 0.2%. So being up 0.2% is nothing because it's been down a lot. It's down over 5% since last Friday. All right, gold's up 0.7%, almost a percentage point to 1257.80. So gold's rebounded nicely from those 42.45 levels that we talked about this week. So it's done pretty good. Yield's flat at 2.16%. And today's economic calendar, we have at 9:45 a composite flash PMI producer manufacturing index. That's at 9:45. 10 a.m. we have new home sales. Okay, we saw existing home sales the other day. Today we get to see new home sales. 11:15 we have Fed's Bullard talking about U.S. monetary and economic policy. Okay, so watch for that. He gave some interesting remarks the other day that caught some people off guard. See if he confirms that at 11:15. 12:40 Fed's Messer has a speech. All right, so these Fed speakers are getting back on the wire talking. And at 1 p.m. we have the all-important Baker Hughes rig count. That's going to impact the price of oil. That's a determination or measure of production of United States oil. All right, so with Libya increasing their output, it's interesting to see, will the United States increase their output for the 29th straight week? I think the answer is yes. And then 2:15 p.m. Fed's Powell goes on to put a speech as well. So we got three Fed speakers, a new home sales number, and an oil number today. So it's going to be pretty busy. And on top of that, we have another release or another big event today, and it's the Russell rebalance. So the Russell group of companies rebalance their indices. All right, it's called reconstitution. And if you look at the link below in the description, I've already put it there this morning. Click that link and get to the reconstitution page. You get to find out what's actually changing. So what is reconstitution? Well, every so often, companies that were great fall off the bandwagon or the ladder, and the ones that haven't been doing that great rise up and become bigger companies as more shareholders buy their stock. So as that happens, Russell has to change what stocks are included in the indices they use to report the value of growth. So, for example, Russell 1000 index, if a stock hasn't done well, they kick that stock out and replace it with another one. Now, if you think about what that means, hey, David, if you think about what that means some stocks are getting booted out, some are getting put into the Russell indices. What's the biggest form of investment in today's market? It's passive investing. It's ETFs that mirror or track the index. So instead of a money manager saying, hey, I'm going to find value for you, I'm going to look for stocks, because the market's grotesquely overvalued in today's era, what a lot of market participants are doing is just saying, I'll just buy the index. I'll buy an ETF that's low cost. There's no ongoing fees for management. All right. The MER's management expense ratio is low. So you can go out there and buy an index fund, because when stocks rise, they all rise together. Okay. Well, if a stock's getting kicked out of that index, all the institutional money that owns that stock, that's part of their portfolio that indexes or mirrors the market, now has to sell that stock, all right, and rebuy the other one that's being added. And that creates a lot of volatility, a lot of volume. So if you want to find out the stocks that are getting rebalanced, click the link below. It goes right to the Russell website, and you guys can see that. All right, so it's an interesting day today. There's going to be a lot of movement. Front, all indices. So there's a couple of indices here in Russell. I'll tell you what they are. I have to go back to the previous page. Had them listed all here before I was copying the link. Remember, Russell's a more broad-based market index. It's not 100. It's not 10 stocks. It's Russell 3000 index. There's a Russell 2500. The Russell 2000 is the one that's more tracked and more broadly used. That's RUT. That's the future symbol. It's one of the top indexes. They also have a Russell Top 200 index. All right, and a Russell Top 50 index. So those are the smaller ones. Then they have a mid cap. The mid cap index is the 800 bottom stocks of the 1,000 index, which is a little weird because then it's only 200 stocks if you exclude it. But nonetheless, Russell's rebalancing their whole index, and that's going to be important today. If you notice some deviations, normally Russell leads. So Russell going up means stocks might start to go up. But in today's market, that correlation isn't as strong because of the rebalancing measure. Some things might be getting sold, some might be added. There might be a lot of volatility and drop. It's almost like expiry day for options, except for the Russell. So that's coming up today. Click the link to find out the stocks on YouTube here in the description. You guys, that's all I got to say about it. It's going to be volatile. It's a rebalance, a lot of money. There's about $8.5 trillion in assets that are benchmarked or invested into the Russell. So it's going to be a big unwind and reposition today. Okay, let's move on. The top 34 lenders in the United States have all cleared the preliminary round of the Fed's annual stress test. What's a stress test? Imagine asking yourself, hey, with my family, the way things are going, if I lose my job, how many months can I go without having to get a loan or get into an emergency situation? All right, that's what a stress test is, because you'll be stressed out like heck. The Federal Reserve does this annually. They'll put banks under capitalization stresses. They'll say, hey, if 10% of your capital outflows, or if stocks get hit 30%, how will your book survive? And all of them have passed it. All 34 of the top largest lenders have passed that test, according to the Fed and their measurements. So that's good news. That's that they could handle or sustain a downside systemic risk in the economy. That's positive. All right. Next week, banks are still subject, by the way, to the second portion of the test, and that's where the Fed looks at their capital plans. Okay, so banks submit the plans to the Fed and say, this is how we want to recapitalize. Whether it's issuing stock, whether it's selling property, whatever it is, there's a capital ratio that they have to hold according to Basel III, which is the regulation and requirements. I don't want to get into that too much, but banks are required to hold a certain amount of cash as deposit. They submit that plan to show their capitalization to the Fed. The Fed approves or declines it. So that's coming up as well. We're going to find out the results next week who failed that second part of the test. All 34 banks passed the first. That's a positive thing. Next week, we find out who fails the actual capital plans. I don't think all 34 are going to pass it. So it'll be interesting to see which bank has been swimming without their shorts on. Remember the saying, when the tide goes out, you see who's been swimming without their pants on. And that's just going to happen tomorrow. Be interesting, or next week rather, not tomorrow. All right, it's Friday. Take care. You guys enjoy the trading day. All Fridays come with a little bit less excitement, less volume, and they tend to be more quiet. Why? Because most traders are at the bar come 10:30, 11 a.m. I'm just being real with you here. I'm not planning to press it at all today. I'm going to take it easy. I've had a really good week. I'm leaving Nicaragua today. I'm headed back home, and then getting ready for my next adventure. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great day. Thanks for coming out. Be sure to check out the link below. Be sure to subscribe, like our videos, and join the trading room. You're going to learn a lot and have some fun doing it. Take care. Have a great day. Catch you tomorrow. Subscribers, hang tight. Let me end this broadcast.